Hello, and welcome to the first episode of Season 3 of Fashion and Founders, the podcast. My name is Victoria, and this week I was joined by Kristine Locker, the founder of Locker, the Pinterest for online shopping. I had so much fun with Kristine. We were able to film this in New York in person, and I also got to meet her social media manager, Hannah, and later we met up at their Locker X set event. And in this episode, I got so much insight from Kristine, and she talks about the founding of Locker, the amazing community that they've built, her fundraising journey, working with Maggie Sellers as an angel investor, and we really dived into her journey as a founder. Kristine has some really exciting things lined up for Locker, and they're really innovating how we shop online. From their brand partnerships, college ambassador program, and now the shopping payback, you definitely want to sign up for that waitlist because you'll actually make money from shopping. It's like cash back, but online shopping form, so it's pretty amazing. And Kristine talks more about that in the episode. And she's such a cool founder because she built a platform that she wanted herself. She experienced a problem and decided to make the solution for it. And they have such a strong community. If you aren't already, definitely join the Locker Shopping Club because they do monthly challenges where if you win, you get a $500 gift card to a brand of the month, which is amazing. I've recently been getting a lot of questions and interest in fashion tech as an industry, and Kristine has described Locker as shopping tech before, which I definitely think falls into this category. And her background was not in fashion or tech, so I think it's a really cool episode to learn from how she got here. And especially if you're a student, they have an ambassador program that you can apply to. I'm so excited to release this episode. It was so wonderful to meet Kristine, and I'm so thankful for everyone who has engaged with or listened to the podcast. As I continue to learn and evolve the show, it would really mean so much to me if you were able to rate, review, or follow the podcast. It's definitely the best way to stay updated, and it helps other people find the show too. So thank you again, and let's get into the episode. And I will still be keeping the listener stories. I love hearing about pieces people have. Definitely send one to me if anything comes to mind while you're listening. And this week's listener story is from Charlotte, and it's about this Cleo Pepiat Annie Zabiza Midnight's dress. I think I'm saying those names right. And she shared with me, if, God forbid, my house was ever on fire, the first thing I would save is my Cleo Pepiat Annie Zabiza Midnight dress. From the moment it was released in October 2021, I knew I had to have it. It was me in a dress. I lusted after it for 2 years, hoping that one day it would be mine. And last year, my beloved grandparents made it possible. Now, every time I get to wear my dream dress, I get to think of them. It is single-handedly the most expensive, delicate piece that I own. And I often joke that I will be buried in it, or at the very least, it will be my ghost outfit. The fit is impeccable and the color suits everybody. I feel so fortunate to own this masterpiece, and I know that I am not alone in this being my dream dress. The price means it is not a reality for most people. So I rent this out so that I can make others' fashion dreams a reality. I get to play fashion fairy godmother, and I love it. She sent me a couple different stories, and I was so blown away by the details of not only the dress, but the bag. I was like, I have to share this one. It's amazing. And that it's so beautiful that her grandparents gave it to her. I know that these dresses are very expensive. They're definitely an investment, but I can tell that Charlotte is going to have this and cherish this forever, past the grave potentially, and maybe pass it down to her daughter one day. So this is such a beautiful story, and also so cool that she gets to rent it out to people as well. This is definitely a dress I've had my eye on, and the details in this, like, it constantly blows me away. And she even got her nails done to match, which is kudos to her. Definitely check out Charlotte. She rents these out on, I think, by rotation. So if you want to wear this dress, you now know where to find it. I'm so glad to be here with you, Kristine. I know you're visiting New York right now, but I would love to get into your background and all about Locker.
Thank you for having me. Okay, where do I start? So I started my career in real estate. I went to SMU, got my degree in real estate finance, and my first job out of college was at Goldman, and I was a real estate analyst there. And then I wanted to move back to LA, which is where I'm from. So I became a commercial real estate broker, and then it's kind of irrelevant to what I'm doing now. Completely irrelevant to what I'm doing now.
But you really were able to pivot from real estate to shopping tech. Mm-hmm. I've heard you call Locker before. So how did that happen? Did you have to make a bunch of new connections, or how did you make that pivot?
Yeah, I think it's like one bite of the elephant at a time. So really I like built the platform from my experience as a consumer. So someone who used to take screenshots of everything that I thought about buying, or I would have Google spreadsheets full of links to products that I really loved. And I would also do it for other people. So it would help my friends and family shop. So I used to create different tabs in the Google spreadsheet and be like, this is for you and this one's for you. And so when I was thinking about like myself as a consumer and like how I'm shopping with my friends and family, I was like, how can I make this process better? Obviously, having no background in the space at all, it was really like step one, Google, how do you start a company? Or what does it mean to start a company? What do you do? And then like step two was how do I envision the platform coming to life? So I started sketching it on a piece of paper so that I could communicate with engineers and be like, this is what I'm talking about and this is how I want it to work. Because obviously there was so much that I didn't know in the process. But it's amazing what you can learn on Google.
Yeah.
And in regards to your question about building a network, I've made all new connections in that space from advisors. I have one advisor who was the SVP of revenue at Honey, which has been like really instrumental on us being able to make money and like getting our foot in the door in that space. And then Maggie Sellers, who is kind of just like a brand genius. And she's helped us as a quasi-influencer, her locker, but also just connections, investor connections, all of that.
Amazing. And so can you give the quick pitch of Locker and what it does, what it is?
Yeah. I always describe it as a Pinterest for online shopping because I feel like that's a really easy visual for people to understand in terms of having a profile where you have on Pinterest, you have your boards, on Locker you have collections. The way that it works though is we started with a Chrome extension. I don't know about everybody else, but I'm a big desktop shopper. I don't understand
I don't know why.
So we started with Chrome extension, and the way the Chrome extension works is if you're on any brand website, you can, let's say you're on revolve.com, use the address that you love, and you're like, okay, but I don't want to buy this right now, I'm not ready to buy it right now. You can use the Chrome extension to put that product in your locker, organize it into whatever collection you want. So I have a party dresses collection that I keep if I'm like, what weddings do I have coming up, or what events do I have coming up that I want to dress for? And then the mobile app was our number one requested product for Locker. So in June of 2023, we launched the mobile app, and it kind of works the same way as the Chrome extension. So if you are on your phone shopping, whether it's on a brand's app or a website, you can just grab the same products and put it in your locker that way.
Amazing. And so I've seen other Chrome extensions from other companies kind of trying to do the same thing of, oh, do you take 1 million screenshots? Do you have stuff saved everywhere?
Yeah.
And I haven't seen them have as much success or traction as Locker. What do you think makes you guys different?
I think a really important part of the platform is having, I guess, like the platform piece itself. So wantoffer.com is where you can come and access content from us as a company, but also all the other users on the platform. It was a part of my thesis in building and launching the company was that you can't just create an organizational tool without the social aspect of it. There are other ways for us as consumers to stay organized, whether you choose to use Google bookmarking or like you maintain your old ways of screenshots and storing your links somewhere, like maybe even Notes app storing your links. But a really big part of the platform is the discovery and social piece of it. So I can follow you on the platform and I can see what products you're saving, and something you're saving might inspire me. So I think that's been like such an integral part of our retention and engagement is shoppers connecting with each other. Like for example, my sister just had twin girls, and so my mom, my sister, and I all are collaborators on a collections together. And so like we can shop for the girls together and be like, okay, let's say we're on Carter's website and we see all these cute baby clothes, and so we're putting them in the collection. My sister wrote the girls need X, and so then we can go and buy that for them. And so I think that's just a huge, like the community is a huge part of the platform's success.
And I've really seen that through like the Instagrams, I'm part of like the Lockers, so yeah, there you go.
Anna's in the room.
Would you have Locker socks?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
And like then I'm like, oh, like that girl just reposted her collection. That looks really cute. And then other people, I don't know, like I just can sense that it's something you guys prioritize, and I think it makes other people want to be more engaged. And I'm in the Locker shopping clubs. I get those emails as well. And a $500 Revolve giveaway or whatever brand of the month, like that's a pretty big incentive.
Yeah.
So like how did those partnerships one come about, and I'm assuming you just see growth and growth after these.
Yeah.
Because people are doing free marketing for you in the sense.
That's kind of the way. So we as a platform haven't really done any paid marketing. It's all been through the community and then the Locker Shopping Club, which is, for anybody who doesn't know, it's our internal referral program. Anybody on Locker can join it. And we do monthly challenges, like you just said, with brand partners. And the brands love it because it's a way to engage their community, get a ton of content on the platform, get their product out to everybody. And for us, it markets the platform and the brand. And so, yeah, it's been a really successful way to get the word out. And it feels very organic because I think one, the challenges are optional. Like, you don't have to do them if you don't want to. If it's a brand you don't resonate with, don't do it. But if you love the brand and you want to save their products and you like love the platform, it's this like really organic way for you to share it with your community. So those have done really well for us.
Yeah, and I saw you also recently launched the College Ambassador program. I just remember scrolling through shopping websites so much during classes that if this had been around and I was in college, I think I would have won one of these giveaways.
So we had the College Ambassador program last year, but I think we had 14 members, maybe 20 something, I don't know. And this year we ended up having hundreds of applicants.
Wow.
So we have 96 College Ambassadors now, and I think we're on 36 campuses across the U.S. So college students are incredible.
Yeah.
For us, I think they're in that perfect demographic. Our main user base, the demographic, is 18 to 24 and 25 to 34. And so you have this conglomerate of young Gen Z millennial females, and college is a huge part of that. They also get to go to so many things that as an adult, I'm like, I do not have that exciting of a social schedule anymore. Like, between date dashes and formals and anything wants to be shopping for.
Yeah, I think I was a peak consumer in college and then it all just started melting down. But yeah, I think the community element you guys have is huge, and I feel like you really do care about your base and engaging them, and you recently launched, I think there's a wait list. I don't know if you are off the wait list yet, but the payback.
Yeah.
If you can touch on that.
Sure. So this is also kind of one of my like hills that I said I would die on as a founder for the business. So when I looked at the landscape of shopping and social commerce, I viewed it as two different entities that existed. Like, one being more of like your true social commerce, so that was like Instagram shopping, and obviously now there's TikTok shop. And then the other side of it being more of like your influencer linking tools. And my vision for Locker was that Locker was always going to be for everybody, no matter how many followers you have or like your aesthetic on social media. Like, if you love to shop and you can curate, or you just want to organize your own shopping and like you don't really care about the social side, like the platform is going to work for you. Having said that, a lot of people were like, can I make commission off of this? And these are not people who are what you would maybe consider as traditional influencers. We like to call them influencers in their own world, and they're just people who love to curate and share with their community. And so we started to think about the fact that Locker makes affiliate commission. Why don't we like start to share a portion of that with our community? And so that's kind of the concept of the payback feature, where if I buy something out of my own locker, I can earn a little bit of money. If I buy something out of your locker, I earn money and you earn money. And so it makes us both feel really positive about the transaction, and it doesn't maybe feel so transactional. So that's what the payback program is. In terms of the waitlist, we launched waitlist just to get people excited, get people ready to be let off the waitlist, and we will hopefully, all things in tech sometimes don't go the way that you have planned, but hopefully we will start letting people off the waitlist in November.
That's perfect timing.
Right before the holidays.
Black Friday.
Yeah.
What a hack that if I buy something I saved, I can make money.
It's the same concept. Cash back. So be backed and cash back. Same concept.
That's the ultimate girl math. I feel like I like can envision.
You get it for free.
TikToks.
And you did it so much TikTok talking about it.
That's really cool. Yeah. And I've been telling a lot of my friends about it too. Some of them already knew. One of them, it was pretty funny. She lives in New York, and I was staying with her, I think last month, and she like came out in her like little pajama set, her hair's bundled up, and she was like, I just did a huge shopping spree because I got my deposit back from my last apartment. I'm gonna show you everything I just bought. And she pulled out her wall locker, and I had this really funny picture, but I don't think she'd let me post it. But she is like going through everything, and it really helped her plan her purchases. And then she's like, okay, wait, I saved 3 sweaters and like only 1 pair of jeans, and I just bought 4 pairs of shoes. Like, I think it really helped her visualize. And I think that like organizational part, like it's not just about the shopping. And at least for me, I think that can also help people just be more intentional with their money as well. What have you seen be certain, like you touched on, like it's Gen Z and millennials, but different use cases, I guess, if people, I'm sure people have told you stories about their uses with Locker.
Yeah, I think one, I really like that you touched on that, because so people ask us all the time, like, Locker is a business driven around consumption, which like we are, but at the same time, and so like they say that in a negative connotation around in sustainability, and like how is Locker playing a role in sustainability and bettering the environment? And I think while at the same time that we are a consumer business, we also give consumers the space to say like, okay, here are all the things that I want. Which things do I actually need to order? What are the things I'm actually going to choose to consume? So like kind of talking about your friend's circumstance. But yeah, she was going to go and buy things.
Yeah.
We are going, as consumers, we are going to go and buy things. What things am I going to buy? What am I going to order? Hopefully minimizing what you order and what you return and that impact on the environment. So I like that you touched on that, because we don't often get an opportunity to talk about our role in that space. I think it kind of varies across the board in terms of users. We have power users, who are people who just curate all the time, nonstop, every single day, curating their collections. We have people who are like very seasonal users, so maybe they're coming to create their birthday wish list or like Christmas or holiday wish lists. We have people who like only browse the platform, like they don't curate themselves. They just want to see what other people are saving and get inspired in that way. Like my sister, and I cannot be more opposite when it comes to like shopping. She hates shopping. I'm like literally the only one who's, you should buy this. You should, like I sent her a Skims. She just had the twin girls, like I said, and bought them like a thermal pink little set. And so I was like, wait, you need the matching set. So like I went and sent it to her via Locker so that you can have a variety of different use cases. I always love to talk about this too. So my dad is obviously not a big shopper, but I saw one day on my feed, because you can, there's a following feed for anybody who doesn't know, and so you can follow their users and then see what they're saving. And I was on my following tab, and all of a sudden I saw all these like faucets and sinks. And, like,
Oh my God.
I was like, my dad, what is he doing? And he was using it to organize this remodel that he was working on. And I was like, it really can work for anybody. Even though we talk about it being Gen Z, millennial, female, anybody can really use it and find a use case for it. Home decor, huge.
Yeah, I've seen quite a bit of topology.
Yes.
Decor, that sort of thing. But yeah, I just remember thinking about, I feel like a lot of the conversation around shopping is like, stop doing it all. I'm like, that's never going to happen, and that's not a solution. And buying new things is like also creative, I think, and business and innovation and entrepreneurship, those are positive things. And I think you're giving people a platform to just be a bit more intentional with it and like with their money too. And they can know what they want to spend on and save on. I think it also really empowers certain like women to start thinking entrepreneurially and have a side hustle, and especially the shopping payback. Like why not reward things that are more geared towards women rather than, oh, they're frivolous with their money. It's like they're making money and they're helping other people curate, and it is a skill set. And so I think you're really helping people in that sense as well.
And also if it gives people permission to go and take maybe some of that money that they wouldn't have otherwise made and do something good with it. Like we're in kind of the wake of Watch and Payback, we're going to start what's called like a pay it forward week, where we just show people how you can do like small things that like will make a big difference in someone's life, whether you're at Starbucks and you buy the coffee for the person behind you and maybe they needed that for the day. And I think it kind of starts to give you that mental space to say, oh, I have a little bit of extra money that I wouldn't have had otherwise. What can I go and do with it? Whether it's buying somebody in your life that's really special to you, something sweet and little. So I think it just hopefully will create a positive overall impact.
Yeah, I think it opens up so many opportunities. And I'd love to now touch on the fundraising side of it. And I know you work with Maggie Sellers. I think she's an angel investor.
She is.
Yeah. So how did that all work?
Yeah.
And if you can just touch on maybe some advice for people who maybe are fundraising or whatever can come to mind for you.
Yeah, so the relationship with Maggie started via TikTok, which I think is incredible and like also so funny and crazy for the world that we live in now. Like incredible connections can be made via social media. But Maggie was actually like super instrumental in the fundraising process. One thing I will note is, so we raised $3.5 million to date. We raised $1 million. The first $1 million was from a user platform who I also went to college with.
Wow.
And she was just so passionate about what we were doing. She's still like such a huge advocate and champion for us as like a business, but that's like very unusual to get like maybe one angel investor and to have them give you 1 million. But one thing I will say is I was a solo first-time non-technical female founder building a tech business. It was like very difficult for me to fundraise. We set out for this round that we closed in January of this year. I started raising that round in March the year before. And all of the feedback we got was, we want to see more traction. We want to see more user growth and revenue growth. And so it was very frustrating because there were many businesses started by other founders who had less traction, literally raised off of a pitch deck of an idea. And I was like, well, I at least have a business. And I think at the time we had 20,000 users. And I was like, we have these first kind of indications of the business is working. Invest enough so that we can grow it to be more, because it's kind of a catch-22. Theoretically, you need the money to make your business grow. Regardless, no one wanted to invest in us. And I was like, okay, well, what are we going to do? How are we going to figure this out? So I had no choice but to really hone in on what is our revenue strategy, like how are we going to make money and start making actual money. So in March of 2023, we kind of turned on our entire affiliate strategy and then really started working on our brand partnerships. So in terms of one, getting more brand partners, and then two, increasing the commissions that we make with our brand partners. And then the other side of it is also turning on flat fee partnerships. So we do flat fee partnerships with brands on our content page. So being able to make revenue in all those like different ways. We had turned profitable in November of 2023. And we were finally then able to close around in January. So I will not lie that it was like, oh, I had this business idea, people loved it, and they were like wanting to throw money at me. I was like, at some point I was like, I'm begging. Not really, but it was really hard for us. I also will tell the story for no other reason aside from like transparency or like being transparent, but fundraising got so hard and like desperate to the point where I was like sobbing to my parents all the time that like the business wasn't going to work and I was running out of money. And a couple days later, I had the FedEx envelope on my front door, and I like opened the envelope, and it was this letter from my dad with a $500,000 check. And it was like obviously such a blessing because I think it gave me this feeling of support and security. But at the same time, when I set out to build Locker, I knew I wanted to do it on my own, and I didn't want family help from it. So I left the check sitting on my desk so that I could, when I had investor meetings, I could talk from this place of, I don't need your money. I just think that this is an opportunity for you to invest in my business. And switching that narrative was really important for me of, I'm not asking you for money, I'm giving you an opportunity to invest in this incredible business. And if it's not you, then it's going to be the next person. And so I never cashed my dad's check. And I was like, here, you can just put it back. I got money from somebody else. But that was a huge part of being able to switch how I was thinking about fundraising. And I think that's important for anybody who wants to be a founder and who wants to fundraise. Is when you are fundraising, if you believe in your business so much, you are not asking for money. You are giving people an opportunity. And that changed everything for me.
Well, how beautiful that your dad believed in you and your idea that much, that he was willing, because I think if you had a bad idea, I don't think he would have given you
Probably
not.
Probably not.
Probably been like, pat on the back. And so he still believed in it so much, but you were able to like find that motivation and find other outside investors. So that's a really great story. And I think it is interesting, the more I research into founders and businesses and fundraising, a lot of businesses aren't profitable and they just run for a decade or something. And I think it does depend on the person sometimes, and kind of researching into like female founded businesses as well. Like it is interesting to me that they weren't interested in or like willing to invest yet until you were profitable, when so many other companies don't turn a profit for 10 years. So I think it just shows that like you are on such a path of success if you can do it now.
Yeah, and just got to keep it going.
But yeah, I think it's definitely a bright future. But yeah, I love seeing all the success and everything. And you touched on this a little bit, but what is your greater vision for Locker? You guys do a lot of in-person events. You're here in New York doing a Set Park collab, which I think sold out in minutes. I saw on like Chelsea's Instagram. So yeah, what is your vision for this?
Yeah, so I think obviously we're an online business, but The like craziest thing, and I can attest this too, is that we have so many people who have met via Locker or like Locker and then social media and are like best friends now. So we love bringing the community together in real life. I think it's an important part of one, having people like, I'm just like the community. I'm a young female, and so I think it's important to build that brand connection to myself, the business, and like our community as a whole. So we love to be together and bring the community together. And I came out to New York for a wedding and was like, I'm tacking on business things. I love doing Locker events in New York. It is the most fun city for us to do events. I think the broader vision for Locker as a whole is becoming an integral part in people's experience, whether that's like connecting with friends via shopping, or when you think about shopping, like I want Locker to be that first place in your mind and not like a secondary action. And so it's whatever direction consumers go in shopping space, like we will go with them. And hopefully everybody's millions of users are using it in the future.
I think there's going to be a big shift in, I don't know what to call it, like influencer or content or what space, but people are tired, I think, of seeing, okay, cool, like this influencer is like on a boat in Aruba and getting all this free stuff, and you want me to spend my money. And I think I've heard other people say this example, but Sweet Life on Deck with Zach and Cody. It was like this whole Danimals giveaway. And it was like, oh, if you buy Danimals, you have the chance to go onto the boat. It's like, they weren't go watch Zach and Cody be on a boat and have fun and spend money, but come join. And you're kind of giving people this opportunity to join in on the benefits that brands offer only influencers now. And I think that tags into the free marketing your users do for you. But I think I can just see a future where all these brands are using your users and partnering with you to help build their brand vision. So
I think the important thing to remember is that consumers are the ones who are driving the ultimate consumption and then like ultimate recommendations. Like if you told me I'm obsessed with those jeans, like we are so much closer in terms of like touch point and trust to be like, I want to go check those out. Like your cousin talking about our earrings. Like we're all wearing the same one. I was going to say,
yours Arabic one?
No, mine are A&B.
Oh,
I love them. Female-founded business rings.
Okay, maybe I need to switch.
I love them.
Like, I'm not buying the potato ones.
No.
They're not.
No way. But consumers are the ones who are like ultimately driving the product for the brand. Yeah. And so when you leave them out of those fun brand moments, they're ultimately going to have that taste in their mouth and go spend their money elsewhere. And like, why would you do that to your consumers? There is enough to go around to invest back in your community and include your community in things. There was that Water Boy, right?
Oh, yeah.
You know the electrolyte drink? Yeah. They did a community trip to, I think they went to Cabo and allowed community members to enter a giveaway to go on a trip together. And I'm like, that connection to the brand, and you can't do that all the time. Obviously, that is expensive for brands, but that is a huge way to reward your community. So I think investing back in the community, giving brands access to more of their consumers, that's a really big role that Locker can play in the space. Is we know what you guys are shopping for. So being able to show brands, here are your top curators on the platform, here are the products that they're loving most, and be able giving them access to be able to engage with people that they may not have been able to have access to before will hopefully also help shift the current landscape.
And you have such a community of tastemakers, trendsetters. Are there certain trends you're seeing on the platform right now? Like, oh, yeah, denim on denim.
I mean, this is like my signature look. I love denim on denim. I would say brown suede, like my boots and your boots. Brown suede seems to be everywhere. I feel like I'm seeing corduroy everywhere. I also think like maroon.
Yeah.
But it's like fall. Anything else? Animal print.
Like leopard. Yeah. So I'm sure you get to see what
we see
like.
Trending. Yeah, we see everything. It's also fun to see like how far in advance people start thinking about like various different occasions, like holiday gift guides. Or like people's holiday wish lists are already on the platform. I'm like, it's October. But people are already like ready to start that season, and so we can kind of see ski season and ski collections are popping up and like what people are planning for. So it's exciting.
Because an interesting use I've used is, so I mean, I'm not an influencer, I'm like, normal person, but you have to have a certain amount of followers to use like LTK or those other platforms. You have to get accepted into it. But people sometimes want to just curate, hey, these are my favorite products. I'm not going to get anything from it. But here you go. And I've done that with certain like vintage things that I find. Like I'll curate a collection and I'll put it on to lockers. I'm like, I don't know an easier way to do this. And then go follow me on Locker. But like, it's just like, it's, I think, really easy in giving people, normal people, a platform to do that. I also think it's very cool that your last name is Locker, but it also makes so much sense to your business.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's quite lucky.
Yeah, I remember when I was like starting the company and I was trying to think of like names for the platform, and I was like going on walks every morning, and then I would like jot things down on my phone. And then finally one day I was just like, Locker. Like, it's my last name. I'm one of 2 girls as well. And my dad's brother doesn't have any kids of his own. And so the last name was going to be over whenever I got married, although I haven't changed that last name. And so I thought it was also like a fun way to kind of keep the name going.
Yeah, I love that. And then I love to end by asking people if they have maybe a specific piece that sticks out to them, or maybe it's the first thing you bought on Locker from your payback.
Oh, from Payback.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh. So Payback, you'll be able to actually cash out. Right now we're thinking via PayPal. You never know, maybe we'll change that. So you'll actually be able to just get cash from it. Well, okay, so the first thing I ever bought myself with my own money, which I just think is so iconic and funny, was a Juicy Couture camel leather purse. And like, I still have it because I'm like, how can you get rid of that? Like, that's iconic and hilarious all at the same time. Things that, for example, that I'll splurge on or that I like find spending value on are like bags. Something passed down to me. I love all of my mom's vintage clothing.
I feel like shopping in your mom's closet is just like the best.
Yeah. She's like some amazing dresses.
Amazing. Where can everyone find you and Locker? You're really building in public. And so I think you're a very interesting person to follow, not just for the Locker content, but people interested in being a founder or that sort of thing.
I try to be more interesting. I need to work on it. I'm like, no, my content is not that great, but anyways, if you want to follow me, I'm at Kristine Locker on Instagram and TikTok, and then Want Locker on Instagram and TikTok as well.
Thank you. And thank you.